Okay, so this is part 2 of the TK247 Deluxe. Part 2 in relation to the last video. That is not part 2 of the whole program. So let's push play and see what. Oh, it says here start. You don't get a play button. You get start, pause, and then that's the record button, which you hold the two down, and then you get a play and a mono play, which I thought was interesting. So it's broken into two parts here. We've got a big stop button here. You've got a big forward, rewind and forward. You've got stereo, and I imagine that means mono. And then you've got tracks 2/4 and 3/4, which is quite normal on tape recorders. And then on this side you've got tone. Okay, so the tone control is one of these inner ones. There's about 3 controls each one. And then you've got this special one for, obviously, for speaker and for input. I would have thought. Possibly, or output rather, for a, oh no, it'd be input, wouldn't it, for a record player. That's a record player sign, and then a microphone, if I remember rightly. So, and it says, yes, Klag Mono Play Pegel. So I imagine that's a bit of German there for those. I bet Dr. Cassette could probably tell me about that. He's over from the other side on the on Europe's side of Germany. Anyway, let's push play and see what happens, shall we? Should be Tommy Handley if I got it right. Oops, no, I think we need to switch on first, don't we? Okay. There we have a bit of noise to start off with. Might need a bit of get going first of all, because it's been a bit sitting here during the winter. Let's see. As you can see, it's a bit slack at the moment. Oh dear. There we go, perhaps that was the wrong speed on there in that case.
Now we've seen a lot of pictures of the people in the news, and we've got to know a lot of them by sight. Chamberlain with his umbrella, Winston Churchill with his hats, or Belisha, well, we know him quite all right. But there's one whose lovely photograph we've seen for years and years, and we ask ourselves this question every time his face appears. Who is this man who looks like Charlie Chaplin? What makes him think that he can win a war? It can't be the moustache. That only makes us laugh. And Charlie's done it better, and before. If it wasn't for the boots and cane and trousers, you couldn't tell the two of them apart. But the whole idea's absurd. Charlie's never said a word. And Adolf couldn't play a silent part. Imagine Adolf starring in the gold rush. He hasn't got a half of Charlie's charms. But he gives a lot of troubles to his film director Gubbles when he plays the leading part in Shoulder Arms. He's amusing when he tries to play the villain. It's bound to get a laugh in every clime. I believe it's all a fake-up, and in spite of all the makeup, we are convinced it's Charlie Chaplin all the time. Supposing Charlie Chaplin got the fever. A war would be a comedy, pro tem. Imagine Adolf getting skittish, signing pacts with Goman British, and dropping custard pies on MGM. Charlie Chaplin would be bigger, louder, funnier. With him in charge, the battles would be fun. And the chief of his Gestapo wouldn't be Karl Marx, but Harpo. And he'd soon have Shirley Temple on the run. If Adolf was in pictures, he'd try sob stuff. East Lynne would be his story as a start. Little Eva, played by Goering, would be a trifle boring. I'd sooner see Charles Lawton in the part. But don't let us be too hard on poor old Adolf. He's a godsend to the comics. He's sublime. Cartoonists love his makeup, but one morning we shall wake up and find it's Charlie Chaplin all the time. Jawohl.
Well, there you go. That's a bit of comedy from Tommy Handley during the war years. But it demonstrates that 247 is Deluxe is working well. Obviously wants a bit of attention. The tape started to flutter there a bit, but otherwise she's working okay. And as you can hear, not a great deal of noise from the motor. Okay, so anyway, so I think this is a good find. I'm really pleased that I've got the tape on the deck here, and obviously, you know, as we progress, I'll bring you back and see how the restoration's going. Anyway, speak to you all later, and take care.